This video is brought to you by
Hochland, photographer's clothing.
In this lesson, I will explain you how the camera works. And once you understand that, it's actually very simple to understand what to do in photography. First things first, what does photography mean? Photography means drawing with light, literally, because the name means exactly this in Greek. Photos means light, like with photon beams or something in Star Trek or Star Wars, I don't know. And graphy means drawing. So photos, graphy, drawing with light. And light is the most important thing for photography. When there's no light, there's no photography. You always capture the light. And not you capture the light, but the camera captures the light. And the easiest way to understand this is by building your own camera. The most simple and cheapest camera you can buy is a simple shoebox. Just take a shoebox and make a little tiny hole on one side. Maybe with a pencil, a pen, just pin it in. And then you have a tiny hole in a box. And then you take a light. And the light, maybe an LED light, a flashlight or something, you point through that light. And then you see on the back of that box that you have a reflection of the light. You see it with the LED light here in the video pretty well. But the thing is, when you now take your finger and put it from one side in, it's the opposite way around. It's a reflection. And this is the same then in the camera. You can even upgrade your camera when you use some baking paper, some white baking paper, and put it on the back of your box with some tape. Just fix it. And then you take the box outside, close it on top, that it's dark inside, and then you make another hole on the other side, a bigger hole for your eye to look through the baking paper and see actually what is captured on the baking paper. And then through that little tiny hole in the box, the light from outside, it's best in sunlight, so go out in sunlight with your little box, look through it, and then the sun travels through that little hole.
Before we continue with this lesson, let's take a quick look at the sponsor of today's video, who's making this lesson available to you for free.
As an outdoor photographer, you want to stay cozy and organized, even when conditions are not. That's why we created the first 7-in-1 jacket for photographers. Don't worry about the weather. Focus on what is important. 3 jacket layers. 7 possible combinations for any weather. Dirty lens? Where did you put your lens cloth? It can be so simple. In the left sleeve pocket. Need a full battery, SD card, or tripod plate? Take them out of your small photo bag in your jacket. A total of 27 pockets, because as a photographer, you can't have enough pockets. Waterproof, windproof, breathable, insulated. 3 jacket layers. 7 possible combinations. Less than $400. Order your Hochland 7-in-1 jacket for photographers now at www.hochland.us.
Also check out the photography backpack, winter gloves and the Parker Pro jacket system made for professional use. Now on sale, discontinued and off-season items up to 60% off at www.hochland.us.
Hochland, photographer's clothing.
And then the sun travels through that little hole, which is actually your aperture, and then is on the baking paper, the opposite way around, it's mirrored, and then with your eye you can see on the back the image. Crazy, isn't it? It's literally in there. The image is in your little box. It sounds crazy, but this is how photography works. But instead of baking paper, you have a camera sensor, and in film times, like 20, 30 years ago, it was the film instead of that baking paper. So the film captured the actual image. And when you now would put in front of the little hole maybe a hand, so you close the hole, look through it, it's dark, then you open it for 1 second and close it again, then you have your shutter. So this is the shutter speed, 1 second. The light travels through the little hole, the light diameter is the aperture, let's say f22, onto the film, but now replace the film, replace the baking paper, you have now the camera sensor. And this is actually how the camera works. But on the camera, the shutter is not in front of your lens here. This would be a little bit crazy, but it's in front of your camera sensor. So it opens and closes and opens and closes depending on what shutter speed you set. So again, let's see the camera. The light comes in here, in the lens. In the lens is the aperture. It's a little gatekeeper, a light keeper you can say. But here in the lens, the aperture is not fixed. So the hole is not fixed, but you can change it. You can have an open aperture, which is a big hole, and you can have a small aperture, which is a small hole. And with a small hole, not that much light goes into. With a big hole, a lot of light goes into. So it goes through the aperture, then onto the sensor, but wait, there's the shutter. And the shutter dictates how long the light goes onto the sensor. And when there's a fast shutter, it's for only a very fast amount. And when there's a long shutter, then it's a long amount of time, a lot of light that goes on the camera sensor. And the sensor, what does the sensor? It captures the light. And then you have ISO. Where's the ISO? In film times, the ISO was on the film. In digital times, the ISO is digitally on the sensor. The higher the ISO number, the more sensitive the sensor is to light. When it's very high, it's super sensitive and a very bright image will be visible. When it's not that sensitive, then not that bright of image will be on the sensor. And this is actually how the camera works. And all of this you will do with your shutter and with the settings you set on the camera. My exercise for you today is to build your own camera, your cheap first camera. Yeah, it's super on a budget. You just need a shoebox, you need a pencil, maybe some baking paper, and then you make a second hole. You go outside in the sunshine, you look through that, it will be amazing, I can tell you. And also try that with your finger, with a light source, and you will be amazed how the light is visible but flipped on the other side. It sounds crazy, but you have to see it with your own eyes. I wish you a lot of fun and see you in the next lesson.
Did you like this free lesson from my course? Then please click thumbs up and write me in the comments from which country you are currently watching my videos. The complete 4-hour Simply Learn Photography course is available on my website www.learnfromben.com, and there you can download the full course immediately, watch it at your own pace, and start bringing your photography on a new level. Or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, because over the next 2 years there will be a free lesson from the course every month on this channel, with sponsored advertisements. So everyone can access my photography knowledge long-term, regardless of their budget, and learn the coolest hobby in the world. So subscribe to the channel now. Every Saturday at 9 AM you can watch a new video about photography, and if you want the full course, go to learnfromben.com and download the complete 4-hour XXL course and many other courses immediately. My name is Benjamin Jaworskyj, thank you for watching, and I wish you some amazing photos.